This was my first time entering a prison. The guard ordered me to strip off all my clothes. Couldn't even keep my underwear on, but I was only pretending to be an inmate. My real purpose was to get a confession from the suspect in my cell, so I refused. The guard had no idea who I really was and thought I was challenging his authority. As punishment, he threw me in the same cell as Paul. I didn't give it much thought and just lay down to sleep. The next morning, noise from outside woke me up. When I saw what those other prisoners were doing out there, it suddenly hit me. This was a life sentence block. After hearing this, Paul immediately panicked and rushed out of the cell to see what was happening. Right then, several inmates suddenly set their sights on Paul. They walked into our cell, surrounded him, and demanded he hand over his shoes. Then they crushed his glasses under their feet. After that, they prepared to humiliate him even further. Seeing this unfold, I immediately stepped in to protect Paul. When these guys saw me blocking their way, they tried to attack me, but I took them all down. They ended up running off in defeat. Paul understood then that sticking with me was his only shot at staying safe in prison. He let his guard down around me. He told me the reason he'd confessed to murder was because he worked at a bank and had accidentally discovered evidence of embezzlement by the bank's executives. But the higher-ups found out quickly and threatened him. If he said anything, both he and his family would be killed. So when the police showed up at his house and he saw the car parked outside, he knew someone was watching him and had no choice but to admit to the killing. After hearing Paul's story, my mission was complete. I immediately contacted Officer Mary, who relayed everything to Detective Carl. Paul and I were released shortly after. I figured once the job was done I could leave town, but when Mary brought me back to the station, Carl suddenly came running out saying there'd been another murder in town. This town only had 1,700 people, and now 2 were dead. The news spread like wildfire. Hearing this, I got ready to leave immediately, but Carl stopped me again, saying I had to stay until they found the killer. I felt pretty helpless hearing that, but eventually I followed Carl and Mary to the medical examiner's office. The ME said the victim had burn scars on his arm that looked like they were from many years ago. The deceased was also 6'5", the same height as me. Hearing this, I instantly became alert and looked at the photo on the screen. The moment I saw that picture, I was shocked. Afterward, I went with Carl to the morgue. Looking at those burn scars on the victim's arm, I knew for certain Arias, the deceased, was my brother who I'd lost contact with years ago. Because the victim was my brother, I was absolutely furious. Right there on the spot, I announced I was staying to investigate this case. At the same time, I declared that I was going to kill everyone responsible for my brother's murder.